Lily? Say, are you still planning on marrying my dear boy Ethan?
Good evening, Mom. It's nice to hear from you. How are you?
Whoa, slow down there, young lady. You and Ethan aren't actually married yet. Calling me Mom seems a little inappropriate, don't you think? Sheesh.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to upset you. Let me just start over. How are you, Donna?
Fine, whatever. Just answer my question, hun. Are you really going through with this wedding?
Yes, I was planning on it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said yes when he proposed. Plus, our wedding's tomorrow, and...
All right, let me ask you this then. How much money do you have in your savings?
What, this again?
What about your parents? How much money do they make? They better be saving up for their own retirement. Are they in debt? Are you in debt?
Whoa, you really need to slow down, Donna. We've been over this already. Why do I have to share any of that information with you? I am marrying your son after all, so I can see why you're concerned about my financials. But everything else you're asking about feels a little intrusive, don't you think? You keep bringing up my parents. What do they have to do with anything?
I've told you this before. Stop responding to my questions with new questions. All I need you to do is give me your answer, and we're done. Why is that so hard for you to understand?
Well, as I've told you before, we don't have any debt. As for all your other questions, I can't answer them until I know what your intentions are.
Fine. I see how it is. If you can't give me a straight answer, even on the night of your wedding, I guess that's just how it's going to be. I've had enough. Don't even bother. I will see you tomorrow.
Okay, good night, Donna. Hey, Ethan. Your mom texted me again asking about my family's financial situation.
What? Again? Jeez, I can't believe she's still bringing that up. What exactly did she ask you this time?
The same set of questions as before, and the time before that.
I see. Dad and I have both told her it's not polite or appropriate to pry like that. But it just goes into one ear and out the other. I'm really sorry.
It's fine. I'm just glad at least you and Victor have my back.
We need to make sure we keep an eye on her at the wedding tomorrow. I hope she doesn't try to pull anything stupid. Worst case, if she does, I'm prepared to kick her out of the venue.
I really hope it doesn't come to that.
Same here. I'll talk to Mom again tonight. Make sure she doesn't try anything funny tomorrow. I'll ask my dad and my other relatives to keep an eye on her too. I'm really sorry about all of this. My mother making a scene is the last thing we need on our wedding day. I'm glad at least the ceremony went well. You were absolutely stunning.
Oh, thanks, dear. Now we just have to get through the reception. I hope it goes well.
Well, Mom's been pretty quiet so far, so I'm hoping that's a good sign. If she can behave herself for the rest of the day, everything will be good.
The scowl on her face makes me a little nervous, though.
Yeah. She's definitely not doing a good job masking her mood. But maybe she realizes she shouldn't do anything rash? All of our friends and relatives are here too, after all.
I hope you're right. All I want is for everyone to have a good time and for the reception to go smoothly.
I knew it. So you were after our money. You've been exposed, Missy. Ethan definitely won't go through with this wedding now. Oh, how unfortunate for you.
What is your problem? You yanked the microphone out of the MC's hand, then you started insulting me, calling me a money-grabbing gold digger. And then you poured wine on my dress and announced that the wedding was off. How could you do something like that?
Because I had to. You left me no choice. I've been on to you for a while now. I thought it odd that you could never give me a straight answer about your finances. Something smelled fishy. But listening to your father's speech made it very clear to me. You were only with Ethan so you could get your hands on our money. You were so close. You must have been ecstatic about the opportunity to marry the son of a CEO. Well, too bad.
Have you lost your mind? What part of my father's speech could have possibly made you think that? You better have a good reason for interrupting him, because that was incredibly rude.
I'll give you 3 good reasons. First of all, he said that you went to a vocational school. Your family must have been so poor that the option of going to college was never even in the cards. Second of all, your father said that he was sick. Therefore, he can't work. So that means, when my husband and I met your parents for the first time, he lied to us about working as a cook. And third of all, your mother works full-time. What woman would choose to do that if your family wasn't in need of money? Your mother could have been a stay-at-home mom. But that's not the case. So, there you have it. All the evidence I need to conclude that the only reason you were trying to marry Ethan was so that you could be the wife of a future CEO and take all our money. Not so smug now, are you? You deceitful low-class bimbo. You have no place in my family.
Uh-huh. I see. Fine then, the wedding is canceled. I hope you're pleased with yourself.
I am, indeed. Now, get lost, you beggar. Lily, is it true? I heard that after you announced that you canceled the wedding yesterday, you actually carried on with it as planned.
Yes, we did. We were actually going to cancel the reception and send everyone home after you ruined my dress and my father's speech. But after seeing everything that happened, the staff at the venue felt bad and were kind enough to let us stay later than the time we booked the place for. Fortunately, we were the only couple getting married there yesterday, so they didn't even charge us for the extra time. It was very nice of them to make those arrangements for us. After we watched you practically skip out of the venue, happy as a clam, we carried on with the reception.
I can't believe this. So when Victor dropped me off at the house saying he had some errands to run, he was actually...
Headed back to the venue to join us, exactly.
Oh, how dare he do that to me? After I went through all the trouble to expose your true identity. You nasty double-dealing pauper!
Let me set the record straight because it seems you're confused about a lot of things. I don't need you to be making any more presumptions about me and my family.
Confused? Presumptuous? Please, I know exactly what's going on. You foolish little girl. You're still trying to trick me, aren't you?
Trust me, I'm not. You seem to be missing a lot of context because you interrupted my father's speech and never listened to the end of it. First of all, yes, I did go to a vocational school. I chose to go to the culinary school so I could help my dad out with the business.
The business? What business?
You seem to think he works at a restaurant as a cook? Which I guess isn't entirely wrong, but there's more to it. He's the head chef at the restaurant he owns.
I'm sorry, what?
I went to culinary school so I could learn the basics and prepare myself before I started working with my dad at the restaurant.
The head chef and owner of a restaurant? What are you even talking about?
My great-grandfather opened a gourmet Italian restaurant way back in the day, and our family's been running the business for decades. As for my dad being sick, that was back when I was in high school. Thankfully, his recovery went well. He's all better now and works in the kitchen every day.
But he never mentioned anything like that.
If you recall correctly, in the speech, he mentioned the time he got sick. He never said he was chronically ill. Plus, after you left, my dad got to finish his speech, and he made a mention of it. He thanked me for my support and for helping out with things at the restaurant during those difficult times. My dad wrote his whole speech down before the reception. So if you hadn't interrupted him when you did, the fact that he made a full recovery would have come up later in the speech.
I didn't think there was much more to it.
And about my mom and her career, she still chooses to work because she loves what she does. Becoming a counselor was her dream. She loved helping others ever since she was a little kid. She worked very hard to build up to the point she's at today. No matter how much money her spouse made or what job they had, giving up on her career was always out of the question for her.
Huh.
Everyone has different values. And it's natural for people to have different goals in life. But it's not okay to make assumptions about them or insult them because of it.
Fine. I admit that I didn't have the whole story, I guess. But that still doesn't change anything. I doubt your family's making much from running one measly little restaurant. I'm sure it's nothing compared to the massive corporation my husband runs. I still don't have enough evidence to be convinced that you're not after our wealth.
Earlier you said you had 3 good reasons to believe that I was only with Ethan for the money. But I just explained everything. The assumptions you based your reasons on were wrong in the first place. Your arguments are completely baseless.
Oh, you're just splitting hairs at this point. You think you got me beat with your flimsy argument? None of that matters because you're not marrying Ethan. I won't allow it. He's going to be leading the company after my husband retires. Being with a poor peasant girl like yourself is detrimental to his future.
Lily! I'm so sorry about my mother's behavior. I have no idea what's gotten into her, but it's completely unacceptable.
I'm okay, Ethan. At least you and your dad are on my side. Of course we are. We know you and we know your character. You're a kind, hardworking, and loving person.
Thanks. I really appreciate that.
So, I have something I wanted to talk to you about, and I want my dad and your parents to be there to hear it. Can you talk to your parents so we can arrange a time for all of us to meet in the next few days? Alright, sure. What is it that you want to talk about, though?
I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. About the business, about our future. I want to make the best choices for us. Dad's been helping me figure some of it out, too. I think I reached a decision. But I wanted to run it by you and your parents first.
Okay. I'll check my parents' schedule and get back to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Lily, answer your phone this instant. What did you tell my husband and son? There's no way they would treat me like this unless you were behind it.
I'm not behind anything, Donna. Victor and Ethan just told me what I assume they told you. Ethan said he wanted to take my family's name and cut ties with you. And Victor said he was going to officially announce that Ethan's cousin Sean will be taking over the company after he retires. Oh, and that he's also planning on divorcing you. At least that's what my parents and I were told. That's all I know.
You can't be serious! Why wasn't I part of this conversation? Oh, unbelievable.
Well, considering the way you behaved at the wedding, I'm not surprised that Victor and Ethan felt they wouldn't be able to have a rational discussion with you. It might feel unreasonable, but I can't really blame them.
This is an outrage. After 30 years of marriage and dedicating my life to being a devoted housewife and supporting my husband while he ran his family's company. What irks me the most is that Victor is telling me that when we split our assets after the divorce, he's going to make me take part of my share and pay you for the damages that I caused at the reception. $50,000! All of his relatives are saying it's only fair, but they're wrong. Everyone's being so cruel to me. I can't stand this.
Mom, I know you're upset, but please, stop taking your anger out on Lily.
Ethan? Oh, don't tell me you're with her right now.
Of course I'm with her. We just brought our papers to City Hall. It's official. We're a married couple now.
I can't believe it.
I took her last name, just like I told you I would.
What have you done?
I'm going to keep working at Dad's company as an employee, but I'm not involving Lily or myself in business operations.
But you're my only son. And you were supposed to take over the business, become the CEO. Do you truly think that what you're doing is acceptable?
I already told you, Sean's taking over the business, not me. And besides, this decision wasn't official until now. But it was practically decided for a while.
What?
You just assumed I was taking Dad's place, and made a whole big deal about nothing.
But think of the position that puts you in.
This puts me in a great position, because it's exactly what I wanted. Sean's great at what he does. He's skilled, innovative, and very capable. The company's in good hands with a businessman of his caliber at the top. You may have supported Dad at home, but you have no say in what happens with the company. It has nothing to do with you.
This can't be.
Lily's my family now. I need to go. I'm sorry, but after everything you did at the wedding, I've lost respect for you completely. And I honestly just want nothing to do with you. And as far as your relationship with Dad's concerned, go talk to him about it. I'm sure you both have some stuff to figure out.
Ethan, no. Please wait.
Bye, Mom.
Donna was furious and kept making a fuss, blaming me for everything. But Victor's lawyer told her that she should consider herself lucky that I wasn't suing her for assault or defamation, and that she should be grateful that the family wanted to settle things in a civil manner. I guess that scared her quite a bit because she signed the divorce papers immediately after. I don't understand why she thought what she did at the wedding and her divorce had anything to do with each other, though. Because she was nervous that I was going to threaten to sue her if she didn't sign. Either way, Victor and Donna split their assets after the divorce, and Donna got a chunk of money. But she had to leave and go back to living with her parents. Bad news travels fast, apparently, because all of her friends and neighbors knew about what she did. Donna overheard one of her neighbors gossiping about her one day and punched her in the nose. The neighbor had to go to the hospital and sue Donna for medical expenses, so the money she got after the divorce was completely gone. Her parents kicked her out of their house, and apparently she lives in a town far away now. All alone, working to support herself every day.
Madison, I'm assuming you're getting close to leaving work, right?
I actually just left the office building, and I'm riding the bus home at the moment. Is there something that you need from me?
I see. Will that bus be going by the 8th Street subway station?
Well, the last stop is actually 8th Street subway station.
Well then, you can ride that bus all the way there this time.
And why should I do that? I don't plan on going shopping or anything today either. I just wanted to get home so that I could have some downtime before having to cook dinner.
Well, I want you to go to the department store for me, so you'll have to take a little detour, okay?
The department store?
A brand of purse that I'm really into just released a brand new style. I can't stop thinking about it and have been looking at pictures online of it all day long.
Okay.
So, I'd like you to go there and pick one up for me.
And how much is that new purse going to be?
I think around $1,300 or so.
$1,300? I'm going to assume that after I get home, you'll repay me for this, right?
Excuse me, are you saying you want to take your husband's parents' money from them? You are one awfully greedy woman.
But $1,300 for a purse is no small amount. If it was just for groceries or something you need, I wouldn't mind paying, but for a purse? Can you at least wait a little while until your birthday or Christmas to get it?
All I'm saying is that I want it now. That should be enough for you to go and buy it for me.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't just have $1,300 laying around for me to spend on that, so no.
Excuse me. Well, why don't you go to the bank and get a loan for it then? Or maybe just use one of your credit cards for it and you can pay it off at a later date.
I will lose the ability to buy food and things for me and my husband. But is that really what you want?
Huh? How does that have anything to do with my purse?
We'll be stuck having to eat really cheap food, and won't be able to afford anything breaking down. But if that's what you want, then I suppose I can buy that.
How can you think that I'd let you buy cheap food for the family? I'm over this. I'm going to talk with Drew about this. I guess I was wrong for asking his moneyless and greedy wife to get me a simple purse. I just assumed that you working for a huge company meant your salary was good enough to ask for such a purse. But I should think twice next time before asking you for anything. It's crazy that I even allowed Drew to marry a selfish woman like you. Really, I was hoping he'd find a woman that knew how to treat her husband's family with respect, but I guess I was deceived by you in every way. I'm not going to let this go, Madison. I hope you understand that you'll be hearing about this again from me and Drew at a later date.
I don't think that Drew will just go out and buy you a $1,300 purse that easily either. Him and I are in the same boat of not wanting to spend money on needless things right now.
Well, unlike you, he knows how to save up money and has more than enough to buy his mom one present. I need to get in touch with him before those purses go out of stock. I've already heard that a lot of the stores in town are out of them, and I'm not going to let your selfish crap be what stops me from getting one.
This again, huh?
I knew it was the right choice getting myself this new purse. I heard that this was the last one they had in stock at the store. That was a dangerous situation I had to face. I was right to ask for Drew to go out and get me this beautiful new purse.
He really ended up buying it for you, huh? I should have known that he'd resort to being such a mama's boy.
Well, he didn't even trouble me with all that talking back, like you. So I'm glad that I stopped where I did with you and decided to ask him. Oh, this is so much fun. I just love sitting here feeling the natural leather. And this bag will complement that new red dress of mine so well.
I wish you at least think a bit more about other people's money before you start asking them to use it for you.
Well, it's all my son's money anyway, so I have every right as his mother to use it any way I please.
But there is a limit to that. And shouldn't you have money of your own? You're retired now and have a pension that you can use to buy that sort of stuff if you save well enough.
Oh, geez. You are such an annoying dog. I was feeling so wonderful to have my hands on this purse, and yet here you are ruining that feeling. I guess I could try to de-stress. I'll ask and see if he can get me a nice tote bag to match this purse.
Hold on. Do you not realize that we don't have the money to afford all of those high-end brand bags for you?
Well, listen, Madison. You guys do have the money. Or I guess I should say that Drew does. I know that more than you do.
What?
I think you'll soon start to learn about everything that's been going on with your husband and the wealth he's going to have.
Yeah? What do you even mean by that?
Well, as we get closer, you'll see what I mean. I hope that you start to prepare yourself for the future that's ahead of you.
Ashley? I just realized that a lot of the things in the house have gone missing. What the actual hell is this about?
Ah, you've made it back home? I only just got out of there a little bit ago, so that really saved me from having to deal with you in person.
But I want to know what's going on.
I'd like to think that you found the divorce papers that were left behind for you.
I did. They were sitting on the living room table right in the open for me to spot. But what the hell is up with this?
It's just as it looks. I want you to divorce my son immediately.
Wait, this is way too messed up that I can't even understand you. Can you tell me again what you said? But this time with a little bit more explanation behind it?
Drew is going to be getting married to a much younger and much more wealthy woman, so he's moved out of there into a gorgeous new estate.
Huh? A wealthy and young woman? And a gorgeous estate?
My son happened to come across a rich girl that happened to fall in love with him.
Huh?
Well, they started dating with the idea of marriage. And unlike you, she happens to let me buy things with her money and doesn't even talk back to me at all. This is when I expected you'd start to understand.
So this all started because of your desires of using someone else's money to buy all your brand items.
Sure did. She has a small fortune in her bank account, so buying what I want is no problem for her.
Who the hell even is this woman, and where is she from?
There's that really nice part of the suburbs home to all sorts of luxury estates, right? Well, she happens to live right in the center of all those nice estates in a much larger and more modern mansion.
What? Really?
When I think about a rich and young woman compared to a moneyless middle-aged woman, she stands out like a star next to a rock. She comes from a completely different way of life.
Are you serious right now?
I am. Drew has no other choice but to leave the woman with no money in her account. It's only natural for him, after all. And then you can go live on your own at whatever place you can actually afford. Well, now that you understand the situation, I'd like you to hurry along with the divorce.
Understood. Thanks for helping me see this clearly. I hope you have a great life.
Yes, you don't have to tell me that. I'm already the happiest I've ever been in my life.
Angela! Has there been anything crazy going on with you lately?
Oh, hi, Madison.
Are you okay right now?
Well, I'm starting to get the hang of what's been happening. Just a bit ago, Mom and her son seemed to be at the front of my house. They came right into my house with all these boxes saying that they were going to be moving in with me, and made quite a mess for me. Right now, I'm with my husband, and we are discussing everything that just happened. Madison, that man, he looks a lot like the man that's been stalking me for a while now. Actually, I think he is that man.
For crying out loud.
So, why do you want to know something about this happening to me?
Well, I think that man that's been stalking you is my husband. And he was most likely there with his mom.
What?
Was it a man that had a pretty lean body and looked in his 30s, with a much older woman who was even more thin and looked within her late 60s? I'm sure it also seemed like the mom was in control of the situation and had him on a leash the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I saw. And actually, the man seemed to stand behind and let his mom do the talking. I guess that really must be your husband then.
I'm so sorry that my husband has stepped out of line and caused you this much trouble. It turns out that my husband thinks he is going to marry you, and that he's allowed to just move into that house with you.
What?
I wonder if he has you confused as some sort of person with a lot of money that lives alone in an estate like that. And his mom seems to think that a person like you would just marry him and let her spend all the money of yours that she'd like.
Now that you mention it, his mom did go right up to my husband and said that her son is going to marry his sister. And that she is there to watch it all happen. But my dad only has brothers, and so this all seemed really strange to both him and me.
I'm sorry to have to ask this, but can you give me a little time to handle this? I want to have a chance to talk to my mother-in-law about this. Of course, if you can't manage giving me a little time, you're more than welcome to just call the police on them both. I don't really mind.
All right, I just hope you could get to the bottom of this.
Ashley! What the hell are you both doing at my friend's house? I'm talking about the woman that Drew plans to marry.
Oh my, so you do happen to know who she is?
She has been friends with me through both middle school and high school. And even now we still happen to go out every once in a while.
I see. So you really do have some deep connections to this fine woman. But could this just be you acting like she's your friend when she really has no idea who you are?
The only people that she doesn't know a thing about are you and your son.
Huh? What do you mean, Madison?
That woman is not the single owner of that house. Both her and her husband own it, and he's the one that bought it for them.
What?
Right now, the man that you've been thinking of as her brother is actually her husband that she's been with for a while now.
She's already married to someone?
Yes. I have been hearing stories from her for a while now about someone stalking her when she goes out or has the curtains in the house open. And then when he told me that the location of this estate was in a very high-end suburb and the house resided in the center of it with a very modern design, I knew exactly who you were talking about. And that's when I immediately started talking to her about you both. She told me that a mom and her son barged into their house, creating a whole scene saying that they'd be moving in with her.
Wait, does that mean that Drew has been the stalker?
That's what it seems like. And I think Drew misunderstood the fact that she is indeed already married to another man.
You're lying. My son has no reason to have done any of that.
For the time being, can you and Drew just get that truck out of their driveway and leave their property? If you don't and continue to be inside their house, they will have no choice but to call the police and have the both of you arrested for this.
Arrested? Drew and I? Madison! What the heck do you think you're doing? Where have you run off to? We both came right back to the house like you asked, and you are nowhere to be found in here. What do you think you're doing?
I have no plans on ever coming back to that house ever again.
Huh?
I took all my things and got them moved into a small storage container for the time being. And tonight I'm going to be staying at a hotel where I can take things easy without having to see either of you.
What are you talking about?
I had actually been thinking about divorcing Drew for a little while now. So I've been moving my things into that storage container, little by little. But when I found out what you both did, I took that time alone to act.
Do you know what you're saying? I'm not going to allow you to leave my son.
Whoa, wait. Wasn't it you that went out of your way to put those divorce papers on the living room table for me?
Well, my son's no longer going to be marrying a young and wealthy woman, so what I wanted before is all in the past now. Now you get your butt back over here.
Well, I've already handed in all the divorce paperwork to the city office.
Excuse me?
And also, there's no reason for me to worry about either of you guys anymore. So your permission isn't necessary.
What?
You've already given me more than enough reason to leave you guys. So why don't we just stop talking to each other now?
What have we done besides putting a piece of paper on a table for you?
Well, for starters, Drew has been stalking another woman for a while now. And now that you both acted on who he assumed would marry him and let you guys move in, causing a huge mess, I just can't deal with you both. Also, me leaving you both probably won't be the end of your guys' problem.
Uh-huh. What else do you have planned for me and Drew? Madison! Can you please get back in touch with Drew for me? Your friend has come after Drew for stalking her for a while now, and plans to take him to court, and it's going to cost us a lot of money. And I had assumed that Drew had the money to deal with all of this, but he said he expected to become rich after marrying your friend. He had used up all his money while waiting to marry her, and has been borrowing money for the past few months. He told me that all the money I used to get those bags and purses was all from the borrowed money he had. So, I need you now, more than ever. The money that you have saved up could really help us out of this situation. I'll forgive you for everything if you just get back with Drew and give us some of your money. Please, Madison! You have no reason to say no to us, right? Madison, can you at least give me an answer? Hello?
The following day, I was met with both that stalker Drew and his mom showing up at my office out of nowhere. Luckily, I wasn't there as I had already told my work about the events that were occurring. And so they allowed me to work remotely and told both Drew and his mom that I was not working there anymore and had changed offices. They continued trying to ask the woman at the front desk where the office was that I moved to. But she continued telling them that she couldn't give that information. Also, now that I'm back at my parents' house with my dad, who used to be in the police force himself, I really have nothing to worry about from those two. And that was the last of my relation to the stalker boy and his mommy. All I've heard about them now is that they ended up having to take out even more money in order to pay off the court hearing and settlement from my friend. And that put them in a really bad spot financially. And also, because Drew was now officially known as a stalker, the company he worked for found out and ended up firing him. Now, while the two of them work to pay back all the loans they took out, both end up fighting each other over whose fault all this really was.